TV. We are back on it again. Today we are looking at issues of the moment, your favorite program. On today's issues of the moment, we'll be looking at the presidential candidate of APC and his interview in London, and also what he says. There have been a lot of accusations and counter-accusations why he has not been appearing on town hall meetings and debates with other gubernatorial, with other presidential candidates, especially the one that happened recently, where the three other presidential candidates appeared. That is the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and then the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and then Kwankwaso of the ANPP. Today, Tinubu has something to tell the world about his reasons for not appearing before any debate. Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of APC, has said that those inviting him for debates are only trying to use him to make money because he is a marketable personality. And then having reasoned and seen this, what they had at the back of their mind, that is why he has always snubbed every invitation for a debate. Cancel. Thus, sorry, distinguished gentlemen, these are the things we are going to look at. As usual, today from my far left, my discussant, Barrister Chukwuemeka Nwogo, is a practicing lawyer and also a security consultant based here in Enyimba City. Barrister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, my brother, and good day, viewers.
And Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi is a historian and also a public affairs analyst and also a political affairs analyst. Comrade, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me join you and for welcoming me. Good day, our viewers.
Yeah, sorry really about that, because you know when there are, a madman would always say that he has too many places to go to in a day, coupled with the dances at every junction, and that is why we almost ran off without remembering to introduce our guest for today. Having said that, Council, you heard what the presidential candidate of APC said. He said he's a marketable personality. And the reason for all these invitations is just for whether journalists or whoever that organizes, they are looking for a way to use it first to make money.
Yes. To the extent that the APC presidential candidate is a comedian, I would say that he is right. Because comedy in the entertainment industry, it's something everybody looks forward to. You know, they are there to make you laugh after having a serious day. The comedians will come around and relieve you of stress. In recent times, that is exactly what the presidential candidate of the APC has been doing. You have the blue, blah, 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 entertainment destined by him. You have the broom, and then the one he was calling out the president and forgot what he wanted to say. He would forget even the name of his political party. You'll find that he is trapped somewhere in the 60s, because he'll be telling you either of Action Group or Alliance something.
NC.
Yes, and never about the president. So clearly, it is obvious that the presidential candidate of the APC has lost touch with reality. He is now a comedian, and that is what the presidential aspiration has been reduced to. Not anything serious, but just there for entertainment. And if he says that people are trying to use him to make money, because people use comedians to make money, and he's just one of the comedians. It's really sad that this nation should allow itself to be dragged when we are faced with all kinds of serious problems and issues, challenges that require serious attention and solution. Somebody is dragging it down to the level of comedy, to the extent that even the people who are doing sign language translation would get confused. They would get confused. You ask him about electricity, and he will be telling you about roasting corn, agbado, his favorite food. Ask him this one, he will leave it. Ask him about topical issues that other world leaders discuss, including global warming. And he will start telling you about a church rat eating poisoned Holy Communion, and so on and so forth. When finally he decided to grant an interview of some sort, he decided to do it not in Nigeria, but in the presence of people who have no voting relevance as far as voting in Nigeria is concerned. Because you cannot go and be addressing the crowd there in Chatham House, which is an institute for public debate. Yeah, he could do so. I'm not ruling that out completely. But the Igbos say that that is no law. Marama Wanama. You would first have done the debate at home. Let the foundation at home before going there, not to tell or give us a condition that unless a particular presidential candidate publishes his manifesto, that you are not going to do a public debate. Finally, that one has published it. Then rather than address it here, you are going there to discuss. And then, even when you are now asked a question or asked 3 questions, that's exactly, God forbid that he be given the opportunity to rule Nigeria. May that day never come, we pray. You give him an assignment, answer this question. The buck stops at the table of the commander-in-chief, the president. And he will nominate my brother, the moderator. You will answer question number 1. You ask him question number 2. He will nominate my good friend and the brother, comrade, to answer it. And question number 3, he will nominate maybe the cameraman looking at us.
Or you?
Or, no, I wouldn't have anything to do with him. So it's really, he has reduced it to the ridiculous level of comedy, entertainment, mockery. That is the way the APC is seeing the presidential campaign in Nigeria.
All right, Council, I also want to remind our viewers and our listeners that whatever thing that is said here has nothing to do with the opinions of the living television. Whatever anyone says here, he is entitled to it and he owns it up. I want you to know that. All right, comrade, talking about the presidential candidate of the APC,
yes,
and what he said right there in London.
Yeah.
That I don't want to look at it from that perspective of council's view of being a comedian.
Yes.
Let's look at it. He said
he's marketable.
Yes, not just that he's marketable. They want to use it to make money.
Yes. I think it's quite unfortunate. Even though I won't, even if I don't have to do council's line, but I have to say, and it's my personal opinion, and I want to be challenged anyway, even by the so-called APC, that their candidate lacks coherence. I just want to say it here, that their candidate, what they have actually produced through their primary election, this man lacks coherence. It's as clear as daylight, and everybody can see it. Let me tell you this, you see, the person who says media house in Nigeria wants to make money off him is also a media investor. He owns a newspaper, he owns a television. So why would he invest in media if he feels that it's not something worth investing on? So that outing, as far as I'm concerned, is an embarrassment to the Nigerian media community and practitioners, and I stand to be corrected. Yes, if you feel you have any view contrary, you also come, and I'm also willing to also engage in debate even with his party. But then I have to say this, you see, it's quite unfortunate where we are reducing this. Don't even say that council called him a humorist. His spokesperson, the son, KMO, has actually said that the insertion of the misspeaking, blah blue blue, is just Tinubu's sense of humor. So Tinubu is a humorist. Tinubu is a humorist.
Comedian.
He's a humorist.
Use the word comedian.
So Tinubu is a humorist. But I wonder the kind of candidate that takes issue of political campaign, political rally and debate as humor, and that tells you the level where we are today. See, I have to say this. See, you cannot talk about democracy without debate. How did the democracy begin? According to books, it started in Athens, where people gather to debate, where people gather in a chamber to talk about issues affecting them, vexed issues, burning issues, important issues. And if you look at the study of civilization, I mean, as a historian, I can tell you that civilization, the act of speech making, you now go to oratory, you give it to ancient Greece and Rome. You understand? They are the ones who invested even sophistry. If you look at, you see that Rome took from Greece and now began to do what? Elaborate. That was why you begin to have senates where people like Julius Caesar were killed and where they will go to talk and debate. Someone who has nothing to say should not say it is their turn to rule. If you don't have something to tell Nigerians, and by implication of your body language, you feel you are superior to be interrogated, you deserve to be humbled at the polls. It is just very simple. We don't have to go by emotion or by any other sentiment. That Tinubu has not been talking to Nigerian media. He has said that social media is not his place. Fine and good. Now he's not talking to Nigerian media where he has a stake. It means he has nothing to say. And somebody who has nothing to say should not be there in the first place. Let me before I even say what I want to say now. I still stand by these positions here and advancing. They are my own personal opinion. If anybody feels he or she does something like it, I am open to debate anywhere. You understand? Now, I have said the basis of making the decision in the ancient Greek days was actually on debate. Even in Igbo palace, there is what you call Omunna, the gathering of Omunna. The male folk from kindreds will gather. Somebody who doesn't know how to couch or present words, don't go to represent the Omunna. It is clear. So if you look at Tinubu's outing yesterday, where he delegated, in fact, he allowed people, he went there to deputize him. You begin to ask yourself, who are these people? Erofai 3 weeks ago was speaking in a leaked video, and he said clearly that Tinubu lacked coherence, and that I'm putting Erofai now in a leaked video in Hausa. Erofai said Tinubu is old, should be talking of retirement, not presidency. So this is the same Erofai who went to Chatham House to speak for him. You understand? So which type of president is he that you go and let us even understand that we have equivalent of Chatham House here. I am a member. In fact, we have what you call Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. It is equivalent of Chatham House for advice. In fact, foreign policy think tank for advising the federal government on course of policy action as they have to do with our external dealings. We also have NIPS, National Institute of Policy and Strategic Study in Just. These are policy think tank. If they invite Tinubu, will he come? Charity should start at home. So right. I feel to me that outing, the only thing I can thank him for is daring his critics that he is Tinubu as per se, and then anybody who disputes him should come forward. DNA, that's fine. What else has he said about other things about him?
That's a council. Do you also think by what is happening, avoiding public debates organized by whatever group, the media and so on, and is that not spelling doom for the APC?
I would want to believe that they have their strategy. The APC as a political party has their strategy. It worked for them before. I doubt if it will work for them again. The APC In my field of work, there is what a particular terminology we refer to as avoidance. When you take steps, you are busy talking but not addressing the particular subject matter. APC prefers to ignore Nigerians. Some people say that they are bearing malice against us. The present occupant of the position of president from APC is very well known for that. Our Ogachi driver of the nation. Even if the country is burning, before he will talk. And when finally he does say anything, it will be very terse. Instead, the presidency, the trio of the presidency will come to tell us that he's using body language. Today he will use his elbow to address us. And tomorrow it will be his left ear that will move. And we are expected to understand the meaning of that particular body language. Tinubu is also refusing to address us. He didn't start today. Sometime in August, I was in Lagos for the NPA conference. We invited the presidential candidates to come around, but Tinubu avoided that particular gathering and sent his deputy, Chatham, with the long red tie and the basketball shoes, another round of comedy. So it's always been one comedy from one committee to the other as far as APC is concerned. Like I said, they have their strategy, ignoring the people that they are supposed to govern or lead. It worked for them before. This time around, certainly, Nigerians have learned better that it's not going to work again. We are tired of body language. The person who needs our vote should tell us why he needs our vote, should tell us when finally you've gotten the mandate, what you intend to do. It doesn't stop there. A new approach has been added. You don't just tell us, I will water you and fire you. No. You will now explain to us how you intend to water and fire us. In terms of, look at what our revenue is. So and so project will cost this much. See how I intend to execute it. See how I intend to get the resources with which. You don't just wake up and say, trust me, I have the experience. It is my turn. I will water you and fire you, and then you go there and start to water and fire us. Luckily, by the grace of God, the days of rigging are over. With the new introduction of the electoral system we now have and the modernization, we are quite confident and hopeful that our votes will count. And once that happens, the likes of Mr. Bat will not come even third.
Okay, comrade.
Yes.
Talking about these public debates and so on, how has it helped the past administration, including the present one? Assuming Tinubu refuses, we discussed here when he produced his manifesto, has produced his manifesto. I'm sure Nigerians are aware. So why this demand for debate?
Okay, thank you so much. I think, like I have said before, you don't. There is what there is this maxim in the legal industry. I think counsel will understand better. Say, he who alleges or he who asserts must prove. If you say something exists, you tell us the length. Now, there is something about the debate. In 1999, when Nigeria returned to democracy, there were no debates at any level. In 2003, there was no debate. In 2007, there was no debate. In 2011, there was no debate. Then 2015, there were a few debates. You understand? It's something that is evolving, because the moment you keep going in these democratic paths, a lot of innovations, a lot of ideas now begin to do what? Unveil and now begin to come up. Who would have thought that by today we'll be talking about beavers? All this is innovation, even to the extent of the president, in good faith and will, endorse and sign into law that electoral act. Nobody would have thought about it today. So these things are new innovation. And Nigerians want to hear you, because this is a country that seems to have lost track, that seems to have lost hope. Citizens want to hear the candidates they are rooting for, so that they know whether the political way you are carrying is marketable. You understand? The whole thing is that yes, this debate we say became part of the process, fully embedded in 2019, but it is not part of our laws. Okay. It's not written anywhere that a candidate must, you understand? Okay. Yes, participate in debate.
Because you are not.
Yes. But then even in America, it is. I'm not sure it's part of their laws, but they participate in debate. Everybody must commit to do what. It was there that you begin to hear speeches, even when Kennedy's and the rest of them. It is there that the speeches that have shaped America took place from. And if you look at when we say presidential speeches or addresses, I can begin to tell you the speeches that it was during the World War that Prime Minister Winston Churchill made the speech, our finest hour. You understand? After the terrorist attack in America, Bush said terrorists can only shake the foundation of strongest buildings in America, but not the foundation of America. He said the stillness of our democracy. So these are the things we are looking. We need inspiration. We need to be to be inspired by what these persons are saying. Now, if we don't hear from you, how can you tell us you are good? It's just like a pupil, a truant pupil. You understand? Who does not participate in class activities, wanting to be placed first position in examination. That's it.
Okay, Council. Yeah, he almost touched part of this question I had in mind for you. Is there any constitutional provision for debate, whether a debate will make or mar any person's election into the office of the president?
No, to the extent of having it written down in statute, there is none whatsoever. However, as a result of mischief, Nigerians have become very good at being evasive, avoiding responsibility, so that you do not hold them down. Somebody will come out even when he's making presenting a manifesto or a speech and tell you that he will do so and so. When eventually he has been elected and you try to hold him responsible, he will tell you that he was not the one that said so, that it was his party. The party on whose platform and pedestal he was elected. And he will tell you, look, I'm not committed to it. I can't be held accountable for it because I wasn't the one that said so. So the clarion call for debate is based on some of this, so that we would also be able to have something to hold you accountable for as the days go by. Again, giving us a written speech is neither here nor there. Yeah. Anybody can bring up anything and present.
Even manifestos.
Yes, can get the best brains, pay them, professors, whosoever, speech writers, and they think out something for you, and you dump it on us. Yeah, okay, no problem. But then, we have to, like we do in the courts, you have what you call sworn deposition, when you front load evidence. The other side already know in advance what you're going to say. You bring it up. That thing you intend to say, no problem, put it in writing. But at the end of the day, you will be subjected to cross-examination. It is during that process of cross-examination on what you have already written that we will now know whether indeed it was a product of your brain or you had paid some people to do so. Like anybody can come up with any document as a manifesto, but come and defend it. In the university, after writing your project or thesis or whatever, you go for defense. Yes. It is due because the academic world understands that you can only pay people to think about the work for you.
You pay mercenaries.
Yes, plagiarism and so on. But when you now go for defense, they will come at you from the end, from the middle, from the beginning, in between. And it is only that process of subjecting you to that interrogation that we would know whether truly this is your work. And then you've told us all what you intend doing. We are interested in knowing how you will achieve it. Not just dump something on us. But like I said earlier, it is not provided in any law. It is provided for now by the will of the people. The laws, don't forget, stem from the will of the people. Do not be surprised if tomorrow you now have a constitutional amendment.
Or even in the electoral act.
Yes, introducing it that you must have at least 3 debates. Ideally, the presidential candidates ought to hold a presidential debate in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Each of the 6. They ought to, all of them will come there and interrogate each other. They will have a moderator who asks questions, and then they equally challenge each other, test each other's capabilities. And let's also see your ability to stand and talk to us. We don't want somebody who will be confined to the wheelchair. Health, we know, comes from God. But let us start by at least doing that which we ought to do, which is electing somebody who can stand. Not somebody who has to be carried, as we keep on seeing one particular presidential candidate that we've been experiencing. Every time he wants to get up to a stage, he has to be held up at a particular one. I wish the studio would play it. He had to be carried up. That's not right. The leader, if he continues being sick like that, the head of the nation, it means the nation will continue to be sick.
All right, great viewers, we are going to go on a very short break. When we come back, issues of the moment will continue. And also we are going to continue with the issues of the APC presidential candidate as a result of the interview granted at Chatham House in London. We'll be back. Just don't go away. Keep watching Living TV.
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me,
Have you heard that Living Television, the latest satellite station on SatView channel, is received all over Nigeria and Africa? You can watch Living Television on every free-to-air HD decoder, including Strong HD and CSAT HD. Why keep paying for monthly subscriptions when you can have fun for free? With Living Television, you can watch lots of wrestling, football, documentaries, and Nigerian films, including discussions and debates on current Nigeria issues. Watch free live matches on La Liga Spain cum Serie A, Italy cum Bundesliga, German League 1, and French matches on over 80 premium channels. Wow! You can also sponsor your programs such as live church services and crusades, political rallies, burial and wedding ceremonies, promotional interviews, announcements, advertisements, documentaries, and commercials. We are situated at number 1 Judges Street off Ikorekmane Road, Aba, Abia State. For further enquiries, call 0805 367 3900. Signed, Management.
allow me,
You're there watching Living TV. Thank God you're still there. We are continuing with issues of the moment. Remember what we're talking about? Here's the APC presidential candidate, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Okay, today, in that same place in London, he said, I now have my certificate. I now have my certificate. And then Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he was born on March 29th, 1952. He also said that those who disputed his claims, the claims that he was born from the Tinubu family, could request for DNA test. Was his paternity ever in doubt? Let me start with you, Comrade.
Yeah, a lot of things are actually flown about Tinubu. You understand? A lot of things about his background. Some say his first 20 years remain unknowable, vague, and obscure. Some also, in fact, let me also say this, that you see, there is nothing much to even hide from it. At a point, Tinubu's handlers or minders, those who are actually cheering him, were projecting some pictures of this man. Do you know that the picture of former governor of yes was actually used? You understand, to tell the story of Tinubu, a 12-year Tinubu, which was a 12-year-old Donald Duke. And Donald Duke had actually come out to say, even if he advances this case, he's sure nothing will come of it. Yes, Donald Duke said it. I want to quote him. He said, even if he pushes this case, he's sure he will not get justice. But that, and if you look at that is identity theft. You understand? That is identity theft. You are stealing someone's identity. Even till today, they have not reacted to that. I'm talking about APC, and they have not reacted to that in terms of statement or whatever. So Nigerians should know, the person coming to rule us, where are you coming from? There have been allegations, in fact, from people like Belogi and the rest of them who said Tinubu originally is from Osun State. His name used to be Amode or whatever. But I am happy he has come out to debunk all of that and challenge them to a paternity test. And that is what I believe he should do with other sagas and other stories about him. We are not dealing with an enigma. We are dealing with a human being who is projecting himself to rule 200 million persons. So everything about Tinubu, there are things that are still obscure. For example, as Azikiwe was born in 1904, we know where he attended primary school. We know where he had secondary school. You understand? We know he was also a product of the glorious Hope World Institute in Calabar. Michael Nopara, we know where he attended primary school. Awolowo was born in 1909. We know where he attended schools. Even Babangida. Why would he be different with Tinubu? Why can't we know everything about him today? And this should also enable us have strengthen our laws. If you are saying we are going for a president with WAEC or with anything, it should be specific and clear. That is why some persons start leveraging this lacuna to tell us they graduated from. Yes, to tell us they graduated from either Oxford University or even University of Chicago. And even to today, there are still a lot of notifications online that there was something written in the document 1954. You understand? As against, so I don't want to begin to go into those areas, but then I think Tinubu should come clear. You understand? And tell us, this is me, this is what actually happened. These are my people. Just don't so forget that when he was being asked and pilloried by the press, Buhari said his documents, including his certificate, were taken by the military, and he was talking as the commander-in-chief. He was the commander-in-chief. I'm talking about 2018, 2019, when he was being asked, where is your WAEC? Where is your such equivalent? He said the military confiscated everything. The man who was talking was also the commander-in-chief.
Okay. All right, Council. Tinubu haven't gone this far as a governor of a state who also claimed that we go down and see that he said that he did so well in the private sector. And why talk about his paternity now?
His parents are dead. That's why he can come up to challenge people to do a paternity test. Using which sample? His parents that he himself has not been able to tell us with certainty. The identity of his parents, shrouded in mystery and controversy. And of course they are dead. So when are we going to get the sample? Because DNA is more of cross-matching. You must have a sample from the original before you begin to proceed. It's an exact science now almost. It comes with 99% conclusive proof. Yes. So telling people who are saying you are not who you say you are and he is saying, I am this. He is the one asserting. He is the one that has to prove. Sorry, let me take your question again. I needed to make that particular point. In addition to...
yes, I said having been a governor,
yes,
and then why talk about paternity now? And this is particularly on him. He said, whosoever that is in doubt can...
because that is like jurisdiction of a court. When the issue of jurisdiction arises, it is at that point that you determine it. If it is not raised, either by the court or any of the parties, you don't go into it. You continue proceeding. Prior to now, nobody had challenged his paternity. Yeah. Nobody had challenged even his claim that he single-handedly built Lagos. Notwithstanding the fact that Lagos has been in existence for several decades, even before he was born.
Even centuries, you are even saying decades.
So now that he has raised it, that is also when we would have to inquire into the matter.
I think I have something more to say. Say the background of Tinubu has always been a question. Even his even his spokesperson today, Keyamu, took it to court in 1999. There were allegations. I think even Ganefa and the rest of them, they were challenging Tinubu's record. You understand? But then the Lagos State House of Assembly came up to absolve him, saying he had done no wrong. That was how that yes. So from 1999, this whole issue they have always been there. They only resurfaced because the Tinubu said it is his turn, and there is nothing wrong with him saying it is his turn if he feels he is there. But he must show us why it is his turn by committing to debate and also showing us everything about himself. See, you don't hire somebody for a job without knowing a little about their background and then testing their capability. You understand? If I am to be hired before I came here, certain things was actually carried out. Leaving people be not just bring me from the outer space. There was something that showed that I am qualified to be here and talk. So that is how it ought to be everywhere.
Okay, Council, on his academic and private sector records, Tinubu announced that he just received his original certificate from Chicago State University.
Well,
sorry, before you continue, somewhere you mentioned where you passed through his secondary school, a man, a fellow Yoruba man, came out to say the year he mentioned he was there.
And that he wasn't seen.
He was not seen.
Yes.
He's not now talking about that. He's talking about his certificate from the university.
Yes, even his spokesperson, Keyamu, told us that Tinubu did not attend secondary school, that he studied and passed from the home. Keyamu said so.
Yes, correspondence.
So when you place it side by side with the claim by Tinubu that he attended secondary school, and then the denial by somebody who was in school at that point in time, it means somebody is lying. Either Keyamu is lying or Tinubu is lying. If you take Keyamu's statement that Tinubu didn't attend school and join it together with the statement of the man who said I was in school at that time and Tinubu didn't show up, if you put two of them together, it weighs against Tinubu's own that he attended school. It means Tinubu is lying. Now, there's what we call perjury, lying on oath. Those declarations made in the forms that aspirants who graduate later to become candidates fill are made on oath. You depose to some of them in court, and you verify them as being correct to the best of your knowledge and in accordance with the Oaths Act. When it is now discovered that you have lied on oath, that is perjury. It's just that in Nigeria we don't know how to pursue things. But I think that this is a particular situation where we could explore that particular option of getting a court to pronounce on the statement made by him under oath. He is now telling us that he has now obtained his certificate. Meaning that at the time of seeking nomination, which graduated to becoming the candidate, he was not qualified. He may be qualified today, subsequently, but as at that date, he was not qualified. And what does it mean? It simply means that the APC, they do not have a candidate, because they have given us somebody who was not qualified at the time. At the time. So if he is saying he has now received it, I mean, at every point in time, they shoot themselves in the foot.
No, before you
something you can submit?
Sorry, comrade. Before you round up what you're saying about that, also remember, if you know the university and the academic system, you know, most of them, as you leave school, you may not go.
You may have statements.
Yes, you may have
statements of results.
Statement of result and not the certificate.
Yes.
What he's saying now is that
original certificate. Original certificate. It is for us to
Question,
know what is submitted with INEC.
Okay.
Whether it's submitted certificate or statement.
Yes, that's the.
At the time he submitted or filled up those forms, did he declare that he has it? He didn't. When you are filling these forms, the practice is you tell us what you have, and then tell us that I graduated at so and so date.
And this is the statement.
Look at the statement.
Anything you want to, you refer to my school.
And we know that in 3 to 5 years, the certificate comes out. So is Tinubu telling us that he graduated within the last 5 years?
You see, even remember very well that
the same qualification is the one with which he used to become governor of Lagos State more than 10 years ago.
Yes, I think the whole truth is that people should.
So either way, the man is not qualified.
If you want to explore this for that, I think the University of Chicago is still there. Yeah. People have written to say, did Bola Ahmed Tinubu qualify from your school? And if the school says yes, we have his record, it's fine. But the most important thing is that
also find out
whether yes, the year he graduated, the proper, and through the means he graduated. You see, there was something we are talking now. You see, there was something that happened during the time Buhari's certificate also became a problem. At the point why flew into Nigeria with a certificate
with something.
Yeah, and they issued Buhari. And then I saw Buhari. I saw Buhari's picture.
Picture.
I saw Buhari's
not of
in a kind of WAEC I have. I don't know whether he wrote WAEC or he wrote Cambridge or a different exam. Yes, but I now saw him. I saw him in the something I know people who wrote from perhaps in the 70s or 80s and 90s. I have. But we are talking about somebody who joined the military by 1960, 61 or 62, in the early 60s precisely. You understand? Meaning he must have left secondary school. So these are the things we have to actually stretch out. See, INEC should begin to extend its tentacles. All these candidates, INEC should also try to verify. You understand? Write to these schools. This person say he attended this school. Do you have his record? It's just simple.
INEC, unfortunately,
so for now, I do not know. No court has pronounced Tinubu as not being a graduate of Chicago University. Or it is only us here that can actually take a shot at that. Try to find out and
precisely.
Yes, try to find out.
The people, not INEC. INEC, it is not their statutory responsibility to go verifying your certificates. When your co-candidates or fellow candidates think you are not qualified, or even your party people, fellow aspirants,
they go to court.
They are the ones to do the investigation and get the court to disenfranchise you. INEC does not have that responsibility.
Okay, he also said again that he stated that the mobile oil attested to his outstanding record.
Of what?
As accountant.
Yes, he said that
as accountant.
He started accountancy.
We are not talking about performance, where you worked and where you didn't work. The first thing is, just like Comrade said, if you are going for a job interview, For God's sake, the topmost job in this nation is what we are talking about. I have interest in who becomes the president, because that person will contribute in a long measure towards determining what this nation becomes.
Exactly.
That is the topmost job. We are his proposed employers. He will not get that employment by the grace of God. We can't employ somebody with such questionable credentials. But when you set yourself out as being an accountant, you should give us evidence that you are qualified. Before we begin to talk about your performance, you first have to be qualified. So you should give us evidence from a recognized institution that would say, yes, he's an accountant, we trained him, and look at what we gave him to show that we trained him. Remember that prior to now, people that used to draw houses were draftsmen. They were not architects.
They were not.
Draftsmen. My own grandfather in my maternal home, Arochukwu, the building, the upstairs, will be 100 years old by in the next 5 years or thereabout, or next 8 years.
And they still standing.
It is still standing. He drew it himself. He was a teacher. He drew that upstairs, built it using wood, basically, and mud bricks. It is still standing. Those draftsmen did wonders at that time. But that does not mean that they are qualified architects. They are not.
All right. Finally, he also said, I heard that he had a very good record in life. That his record is consistent in the university question.
What type of record?
Yes, I think
His record.
I think,
he's talking about his academic.
Okay.
He said it's very consistent. If anybody is in doubt, you can call for it at the Chicago State University.
This is what we are interested in. Let him make this kind of declaration. You see, there is nobody against anything trying to undermine anybody. You understand? It's not our duty to undermine anybody. Even when Cass was saying, I wouldn't even talk about Tinubu from the perspective of maybe if he was physically challenged, not because of age. Age is a serious issue because there are also attendant medical conditions that are accompanying old age. Yes. But if you see someone like President Roosevelt in America, who he was on wheelchair, and he was the only president in America to do 3 terms, and he ruled America throughout the war. You understand? Through the war, you understand? And he was the best. After the Great Depression, he came on board. He did well, exceptionally well. But mentally he was sound.
One of the best brains ever as a president.
Yes, he was sound. So my own what is
even on wheelchair.
Yes, even on wheelchair. So
he was only physically challenged.
We are not saying that Tinubu should do frog jump or that he should commit to running around the stadium. No, it's not what you are saying. What we are saying is that there are allegations and there are questions about you. They didn't start today. They started when you became a governor. You understand? Prove. You understand? Now he's trying to prove. But the most important thing to me is not just about all these things. If he said that the university or Mobile had actually come out to praise him, was it in a statement released by that organization or by an award they issued to him, signed by whoever? So these are the things we want to see. Why is it that
Mobile is not
a record of fatigue is not an academic institution?
So even if Mobile said so,
why is it that
we're talking about academics?
Why is it that people like Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwaso, their own record are not in doubt like this?
Nobody is
doubting they are even proud to tell you where they are attended schools.
And their classmates are
alive. Yes, so the thing is that sometimes I even pity Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, nobody deserves to be bullied and nobody deserves to be intimidated. But when you don't want to come up clearly and address these issues because you feel you don't want the media people to make money off you, you are only exacerbating the whole thing, and that is the problem. So I believe his handlers will hear us and begin to tell him to answer to these things. It is not bad.
All right, Council, before I give you this question, he said the record is there and the transcript is there showing 1952 March, you know, when he was born. Then what I want to ask is, in Nigerian civil service, in Nigeria generally, there is a retirement age. And then, do you think people are talking about his age, not just because of his health, maybe because of that retirement age?
No, the retirement age in the civil service or public service actually refers to employment,
okay.
Not political, not political appointment, and not by election. That one, there is, yes, it's an entirely different thing altogether. But in the civil service, you are required to go after a certain time so that more people, younger people, can also come on board. What we are looking at in this his own situation is that the indices are there to suggest that the age he is telling us is not correct. There are several reasons. There are people who, like in our Igbo parlance, would call him De Babake, that are above 70. And he wants us to believe that he is 69, just going to 70. People we know to be close to 80 that refer to him as Baba, elder, senior, and so on and so forth, and he will answer. So, when you look at these things and then look at his performances, Comrade said something about the physical aspect, yes. Physically, he cannot, anytime he is on stage, people surround him. We keep on seeing these pictures. They just stand there and use their body to prop him up. For some of us in the security industry, we understand what that means. You know, you just stand around him, you prevent him from falling just by standing left, right, and center and all around him. But the worst is that when he now opens his mouth to talk, you discover that upstairs, which is actually the place we need most, it is the physical that is telling us that the upstairs is a problematic area. When he now opens his mouth to address the nation, why just say that everything is old age is a blessing.
Yeah, it should be.
It is a blessing. At a certain age, you no longer aspire and struggle to be at the forefront to do what young men of 30-something, 40-something.
And I think yes, and
you go back and stay with your grandchildren and begin to enjoy the blessings of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. When you now want to come into the foray, into the arena as a gladiator with the age mates of your great-grandchildren, then nobody should blame us if we also treat you the way we treat them. We subject you to the same levels of, would I say, stress, both verbal and physical, as the young men. And at that stage, you don't try to use your age to shy away from responsibility.
Before we go, you can come in through here. Okay. Before we go, finally he said Mobi Loyal has attested to his outstanding record, that he got to the pinnacle of his career in the private sector, and that there is no person among those who are contested with him that can brag about this.
He seems to be talking about his record. These are the things we want to be hearing from him. These are the kind of assertions. But we also want him to say these things while seated in a debate. You see, you cannot shy away from debate on whatever grounds you have. My own word is that he said the Nigerian media industry is trying to make money off him. That's a huge indictment when he owns one of the largest TV stations and then one of the most selling newspapers daily here. But I have to say this, we have to also give respect to this man. He was very dogged during the June 12th struggle. I have to say this, and this is my personal opinion. The climax of Tinubu was his struggle, his commitment, challenging the military, even to the extent of becoming a political exile. He left the shore of this country because he was in the hit list. But he should be careful how he ends. We shouldn't allow maybe parochial interest, you understand, or insular interest to end our beautiful record. See, if we write about Nigeria, especially Nigeria of 1999, because we're talking about Nadeko, Tinubu is there. If you're talking about June 12 struggle, Tinubu was actually there. He fought against the military. But I wouldn't know whether personal ambition is trying to overwhelm, or I am saying already he has done his bit. So if to me he feels above other candidates or higher than them, then it is left for Nigerians to humble him at the post, because there was a particular thing he said the day he said Emilokon. Now listen, after he cried out Emilokon, it is my turn, he now said they want to eliminate me from history. I'm putting him. And I asked, what type of history? Mr. Man, you've done well for yourself. You've been the governor of Lagos State. You've been a senator in 1992.
You built, according to you, Lagos, and you own the entire
You've done well. So everybody must not be president, but it's good and fine. It's a democracy. His party has actually chosen him. We wish him all the best. But let Nigerians decide using what is playing out.
All right, finally, before we go, council. Now, if leadership is all about service, as we are meant to understand, why would a man who is supposed to now sit back, relax, and enjoy what he has done, why would, if it is pure service, why would people be clamoring? In fact, you are coming to serve us and we are saying no, and you're pushing yourself, forcing yourself. If leadership is actually service, especially in Nigeria, why do people clamor for it?
Experience has shown that in Nigeria, leadership is not just about service. It is about personal aggrandizement. That is what it is. And also, there are people, elements around him who feel that let's push him up, prop him up. He gets it. He will be a stooge. We will be the ones running the show. And that is why they are trying to dump him on the laps of Nigerians. All those people propping him up with their bodies, they are the ones. So they know very well that they are being most dishonest. They know that they are doing a great disservice to this nation, but for purely selfish, personal interests, they are trying to do the impossible.
All right, our wonderful viewers, leadership should be characterized with and by service, and that is what it should be. On this note, this is where we are ending today's program. Remember, tomorrow, Nigeria Today will also come your way. So don't go away, keep watching Living TV. From my far left, I have Barrister Chukwemeka Nwogo. Barrister Chukwemeka Nwogo, it's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
And Comrade Nnamdi Elekwachi, it's our pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And our viewers, this is your command, Chinedum Adiele. We'll be back tomorrow. Keep watching Living TV.